always tease each other. He was, you know, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, you know, if I lost you and I, you know, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can. This is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I mean, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have 1 on my list. I don't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like,
Tell me,
think
he's
of
guessing.
someone, think of someone. Bob Newhart, I don't know.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry.
A lot of it's my real life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some.
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something new.
Wait, which
except
one?
It's just,
Now I want to think of the scene.
Oh, I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
And tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I borrowed it.
His suit?
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty. Look at it. You guys are not getting it in the shot.
I for sure fell short. And you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel, and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize.
So it's a bit of a tough adjustment in our house, but it's good. I mean, I have 2 other daughters, so my oldest is very into the baby, but my middle child, not so much. But we're thinking of keeping her.
Yeah. Does she like play with her? What does she think?
Well, she sort of like pretends to play with her. So like in the beginning, our oldest is like loving on her, and she's like very maternal, and then our middle daughter is just keeps away from her.
But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you, and I'm sorry that has happened to you before, and I hope after this experience there will be a new, I don't know. I hope it'll be healing in some way, because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial, just like you, and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found, no more, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's gonna be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm gonna stop rambling, because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 in the morning. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done. Cutting myself off. Good night.
The second fans got word that It Ends With Us, the chart-topping, tear-jerking novel, was getting the Hollywood glow-up baby the streets were buzzing. With all its themes of love, survival, and self-reinvention, folks thought Blake Lively's undeniable star power and Justin Baldoni's signature heartstring-pulling direction would be a match made in cinematic heaven. Those first-look pics? Oh, they served. Stylish, bold, and dripping with high-fashion drama, had people speculating that this adaptation might come with some unexpected humor to shake things up. But baby yai, that early excitement got snatched when a messy legal drama crashed the party, complete with fiery accusations and a courtroom showdown triggered by one game-changing phone call. And the real gag? Blake Lively showed out in a way that had everybody clutching their pearls. See, before the lawsuit started flying, whispers of behind-the-scenes friction had already been making their rounds in Hollywood. Word on the street was Lively and Baldoni were butting heads. Sis wanted a stylish, playful spin on the story, while Baldoni was hell-bent on keeping it raw and true to the book. At first, folks chalked it up to typical creative differences. Nothing new in Tinseltown. But the drama escalated. Then came the real bombshell. Lively alleged she was boxed out creatively and forced into promo tactics she ain't signed up for. Fans were gagged. And just like that, Baldoni's legal team spun the block with a defamation suit. Baby E, when that lawsuit hit, it rocked Hollywood like an earthquake. Baldoni, known for his soul-stirring storytelling, was out here claiming that Lively's accusations weren't just messy. They had the power to crumble his entire career. And the price tag on his so-called ruined reputation? Oh, just a casual $100 of millions if he could prove his case. What started as a petty creative scuffle over tone had officially snowballed into a full-blown legal war. But just when folks thought it couldn't get any hotter, boom, an accusation dropped that turned this drama into an all-out five-alarm blaze. Baldoni hit back, alleging that somebody, either Lively or her camp, had been out here planting, or worse, forging receipts to make it look like he was behind decisions she now wanted no parts of. And the so-called evidence? Oh, it was sketchy. Suspicious emails, timestamps that weren't adding up, allegations that Lively's proof might have been tampered with. At first, neither side could drop the smoking gun, but just the idea that an A-list darling could be tangled up in something as scandalous as doctored documents had Hollywood in a chokehold. Feuds behind the scenes? Been there? Done that? But this was next-level scandalous. The media circus ate it up, and fans quickly split into two warring camps. Lively's ride or dies swore up and down that sis would never pull something so low. Her track record was squeaky clean. Meanwhile, Baldoni's supporters weren't budging, arguing that his whole brand was built on integrity. So why would he suddenly fabricate a mess this wild? The drama dominated headlines, turning the case into a messy battle of loyalty, reputation, and who really had the receipts.
A lot of it's my real-life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some.
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something new.
Wait, which
except
one?
it's
Now I want to think of the scene.
Oh, I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
And tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I borrowed it.
His suit?
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty. Look at it. You guys are not getting it in the shot.
I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize.
Baby I. Just when folks thought this case was about to drag on with the usual depositions and legal chess moves, boom, everything flipped in a single afternoon. What should have been a routine scheduling hearing turned into pure chaos when Baldoni's legal team pulled an Uno reverse and dropped a bomb, a never-before-heard phone call recording that had just surfaced. And just like that, the game changed. The entire courtroom froze. The judge wasn't playing either, slamming the brakes on proceedings and making the rare call to let both legal teams listen to the audio privately before deciding if it could be used. Baby, the whispers, they spread fast. What was on that call? Some folks swore it finally exposed exactly who had been pushing for all those comedic tweaks in the film, then conveniently backtracked once the backlash hit. But, oh, the speculation didn't stop there. Insiders claimed it was nothing but a routine chat between Lively and a top exec, likely recorded for continuity, just standard Hollywood protocol. But then came the juicier theory. This wasn't just business, it was personal, caught accidentally and leaked by somebody hell-bent on blowing blowing up the truth. But baby, whatever was on that tape, it shut that courtroom down. When those lawyers hit play, even the most seasoned legal pros were shook. No official transcript has leaked, but the streets are saying that the moment Blake Lively heard that recording, her whole demeanor changed. At first, just a hush, but then that tension was so thick, witnesses compared it to the final showdown in a Hollywood thriller. Blake Lively, who had been cool as a cucumber throughout this whole ordeal, suddenly wasn't looking so unbothered. Whatever was on that call, it shook her. Within hours, entertainment blogs had a field day, flooding the internet with juicy headlines, claiming she lost it when she realized just how damaging this new evidence could be. The legal game had just flipped again, and Lively's camp scrambled into damage control mode, shutting down the narrative that Sis had a full-blown meltdown. Her team insisted that if she looked caught off guard, it was for good reason. The recording was allegedly dropped without warning, edited to filth, and conveniently snipped to leave out key context. But baby, the court of public opinion had already picked up their gavels, and the streets were talking. One thing was undeniable. Blake, usually the definition of poised, was visibly rattled, and that alone set off a full-blown media firestorm. Did the call expose her, or did it unveil a deeper twist in how her creative role had been spun? Speculation went crazy. One theory had folks saying the call caught her happily hyping up all the comedic tweaks and fashion-forward choices, completely contradicting her claims of being pressured into them. Another, even messier, suggested the recording had her dragging Baldoni's direction behind the scenes, making it look like she always had a backup plan to distance herself from certain creative choices if the fans didn't eat it up. The gag of it all. And baby, then came the real whispers, the sinister ones, the kind that makes you side-eye the whole industry. Word on the curb was that this call wasn't just about Lively and Baldoni's petty creative beef. Nah, this might have been a direct order from higher-ups, studio execs, outside forces pulling the strings. Whatever the truth was, one thing was crystal clear. This wasn't just a shift in tone. This audio bombshell had completely rewritten the stakes. And Baldoni's team? Oh, they wasted zero time playing offense. They came in guns blazing, arguing that if this call was authentic, it was their smoking gun. Proof that Lively had been fully on board with the film's comedic tone, only switching up once she peeped that fans wanted something deeper. To them, this wasn't just a win, it was a takedown. But Lively's camp wasn't rolling over. Not today, not ever. They clapped right back, saying the conversation was twisted and cherry-picked to erase the many times she had pushed back on the film's direction. And if she looked shook in court, of course she did, because she immediately clocked how this one little clip could be spun to bury the real issue. But the real gag, the real bombshell still loomed over everything. Those allegedly fabricated emails and tampered documents. Baldoni's side doubled down, claiming the digital receipts painted a clear picture. Somebody had strategically made it look like he had ignored Lively's concerns. And baby, they were coming for blood. If the phone call contradicted those questionable emails, it could be the most damning piece of evidence in his favor. Sources close to Baldoni's camp claimed the recording would reveal not only that Lively had supported the comedic and flashy elements, but that she had actively pushed for them. If true, that would make it nearly impossible for her to argue she was ever coerced. But Lively's allies weren't buying it. Their counterpoint? If this call was so critical, why did it convene, seemingly surface only now? Some insiders believe the phone call didn't just magically surface. It may have come from a third-party player looking to gain favor with Baldoni's camp, or even Disney, which recently aligned itself with him. And then there are the whispers, the claim that this bombshell evidence wasn't just about truth, but strategy, dropping it at the perfect moment to shake Lively's confidence in court, making her reaction to the story instead of the lawsuit itself. Regardless of intent, the effect was undeniable. Lively's visible reaction to the newly surfaced audio stole the spotlight, pushing the actual legal complexities to the background. Suddenly, this was the case. It wasn't just about contracts, creative direction, or behind-the-scenes disputes. It was about perception. And in Hollywood, perception is everything. Industry insiders note that major studios often rally behind directors or producers they trust, particularly when future projects hang in the balance. If Disney sees Baldoni as a long-term creative partner, they may be quietly supporting his defense, ensuring he isn't derailed by a high-stakes legal battle. But for Lively, that kind of backing might feel less like routine industry politics and more like an unstoppable corporate machine working against her, tightening the pressure with every move. Whether her courtroom reaction stemmed from frustration, shock, or sheer disbelief, one thing was clear: this evidence hit her hard.
We always tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can. This is a horrible horrible thing to say. And he's like, I mean, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have one on my list. I didn't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like,
Tell me,
okay,
and he's
think of
guessing.
someone, think of someone.
Right.
Bob Newhart, I don't know.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry.
Fans of It Ends With Us? Baby, they are shook. Now, folks are seriously wondering if this movie will ever see the light of day. The novel's raw and gut-wrenching story has touched millions, and everybody was hoping that Lively and Baldoni's talents would bring it to life properly, with all the heart it deserved. But now, swing, the whole production is stuck in the middle of a scandal nobody saw coming. The real story ain't even about the movie anymore. It's about the mess. Instead of fans arguing over which iconic scenes from the book will make the final cut, now they're knee-deep in conspiracy theories, dissecting leaked documents, debating who tampered with emails, what comedic elements were actually pitched, and whether that bombshell phone call even proved anything at all. And because this whole thing has turned into an industry-wide soap opera, Lively's camp is not letting her go out sad. If anything, her supporters are louder than ever. A wave of actors, directors, and even high-profile fashion designers have stepped up to ride for her, publicly vouching for her professionalism and collaborative spirit. They're out here painting a picture of a woman who was deeply invested in her work, who poured her soul into the project while still respecting the bigger vision. One thing's for sure, whether this film ever makes it to theaters or not, this drama is box office gold. But even if that phone call suggests Lively once co-signed the comedic approach, her people ain't letting that be the final word. One conversation, that doesn't erase her claim that she was ultimately pushed aside. They insist she may have been eased into agreeing with tweaks here and there, only for the humor to get amped up way beyond what she originally had in mind. And let's be real, no single phone call can capture the full weight of shifting studio politics, exec pressure, and the fan backlash that might have forced her to rethink everything. But right now, her biggest battle is undoing the damage left in that call's wake. Sis is standing 10 toes down, holding firm that she was sidelined, pressured, and left carrying the blame for a creative direction she never fully endorsed. But with the narrative spiraling so publicly, the real question is, can she take her story back? Or has the tide already turned against her? Meanwhile, Baldoni, he ain't budging either. He swears up and down that everything was a collaborative effort, until Lively switched gears after realizing the die-hard fans weren't here for a lighter take. And now, with that recorded call making her seem way more enthusiastic than she claimed, his side is feeling that momentum shift. But here's the real question. Is this just the beginning? Could more calls drop? Will unseen emails surface that either confirm or blow up the allegations of planted evidence? And will a mystery third party step in with the kind of game-changing receipts that nobody saw coming? The tension is rising by the day, turning what should have been a simple book-to-film glow-up into a full-fledged Hollywood scandal for the ages. This real-life drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has got Hollywood talking, and for good reason. In a town where scripted twists are the norm, this mess has flipped the script on what we thought we knew about celebrity feuds. The entire world is watching as the lines between on-screen drama and real-life chaos blur. No matter how this whole thing shakes out, one thing's for sure. Blake Lively's raw courtroom reaction is etched into the public's mind. Was it a righteous moment of fury, or did she crack under the pressure, trying to regain control of a narrative slipping through her fingers? That's the million-dollar question, and it depends on who's asking. With the most recent hearing overshadowed by that bombshell phone call, this entire project is now in limbo, hanging by a thread. If that recording gets authenticated, Lively's got some serious work ahead if she plans to keep her claims afloat. But if it gets tossed out as misleading or inadmissible, Baldoni's team could walk away with a win so clean, you'd think they wrote the script themselves. The one thing that's clear, this saga is a textbook example of how quickly power can shift in Hollywood's high-stakes game of legal chess. And with the future of It Ends With Us hanging on a razor's edge, nobody's got a clue who's going to come out on top. Just when it seemed like this legal drama would settle into the typical slow grind of depositions and expert testimony, One phone call turned everything upside down. Blake Lively, always known for her cool and collected demeanor, had a moment, one raw and emotional enough to shock even her most die-hard fans. Was this the moment her picture-perfect public image met the harsh truth of a high-stakes legal battle? Maybe, or maybe, just maybe. It was the reaction of someone who watched a bombshell piece of evidence drop, leaving her no time to clarify things the way she says they need to be. Now, with It Ends With Us hanging in the balance, caught between digital forensics, possible settlements, and the unpredictable moves of both legal teams, anything could happen next. And let's be real, this ain't wrapping up anytime soon. This case is too explosive. It's gonna drag on for months, maybe even longer, as Hollywood's finest lawyers and PR teams work overtime to keep the real story buried or twisted in their favor. Fans, insiders, and gossip-hungry media folks will be feasting on every leaked email, every whispered rumor, trying to crack the code on whether the final film can still capture the raw, emotional depth of the novel, or if the behind-the-scenes drama will forever taint its legacy. This whole spectacle is the perfect proof that celebrity beefs aren't just about who's right, it's about power, perception, and who's got the pen to control the narrative. If even more bombshell recordings or shady documents come out, this battle's gonna hit another level. And it won't just be Lively and Baldoni's reputations on the line. It'll be the entire adaptation's future. So here's the real kicker. Will the truth, whatever that is, finally break free from all the legal maneuvering, the PR spin, and the raw emotion? However this plays out, one thing is for sure. Blake Lively's courtroom reaction is now etched into Hollywood history, a glaring reminder of how fast a carefully crafted image can crumble under the weight of one unexpected bombshell. And you know we'll be watching every twist, every turn, like it's a season finale we can't miss. If you want to stay in the loop on every shocking development, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Trust me, you do not want to miss this.